Ani wa Nandi Hills yumo ndani. Mheshimiwa Keter, haya mambo yote ambayo unayazungumzia kwamba ground haijafurahia uongozi wa Kenya Kwanza, ground haijafurahia uongozi wa William Ruto, unataka kuniambia rais hajasikia haya, hajui haya? Kuna National Intelligence Service ambao wanampatia brief ya kumwambia mzee, ground ina shift hapa chini, watu hawako comfortable, mwananchi hapa analia, mkulima wa mahindi analia, hapati hizo habari.
Kama anapata ama azipati, amiliki yule. Yule hakuna mtu anamsikiza. Anajiamini yeye mwenyewe ndio kila kitu.
Ndio.
Na kama anajua, ana hata mpango lolote. He has no plan. Nakumbuka kikozoa wengine akisema the rest hawana manifesto, hawana plan, hawana nini. Ana plan yoyote, ana mipango yoyote, ana lolote.
Sasa unataka kuniambia baraza la mawaziri, kazi ya baraza la mawaziri ni kumshauri rais. Kazi ya wale technocrats kwa serikali yake ni kumpatia expert opinion ambaye anafaa kuitumia. Sasa inakuwaje hizi shida zote zinakuwa pale na hawa watu wako? Kwani hawezi kusikiliza?
Ukumbuke juzi, in less than a month,
ndio
ulisikia mawaziri wakipiga makelele sana kusema wanaandika kazi bila kujua. Inapelekwa kwa gazetteman, hawajui. Many cabinet ministers have complained loudly that in most of the times they see names bearing their signatures imepelekwa kule kwa government printers to be gazetted, and they are not the source of those names in their own ministries. So that is William Ruto for you. Remember, David Ndii, on many occasions, he has mentioned that the responsibility of an advisor is to advise. Whether you use the advice or not, what is he telling you? He's telling you that I've been advising these people.
Like in
our ski. So simple. You know, as an advisor, it's my responsibility to analyze whatever issue I'm faced with, the situation. Then I make conclusions, present a report to whoever my boss is, and it is upon now the boss to look at the content, filter it, come up with a decision on what to do. So most of these advisors, it is not like they are not advising the president, but this is a president who is all-knowing. He's an engineer, he's an accountant. Don't you remember the last time when he was on national television and radio, all the stations, on his address to the nation? I think there was an interview with a panel of journalists.
Yes.
You remember saying that his position was right, not KRA, on many issues. What is the Treasury are saying we are in a pathetic problem. Then he's saying, don't listen to Treasury, listen to me. Kenya Revenue are not collecting enough money. No, don't listen to those people, listen to me. Really? We have an organization which is paid by and run by the taxpayers' money. With officials with qualifications and expertise. Who are doing responsibilities in Kenya Revenue Authority. But you seem to know better than them.
Wakati waziri wa fedha alikuwa amesema we are broke.
We are broke. Then he said we are not.
Itakuwa vigumu hata kulipa mishahara ya wafanyakazi wa umma.
Sasa umeelewa? Alisema we are in a very bad situation. We are broke as a country. And I sit as a Treasury Cabinet Secretary. But we are in a bad year. So wale ma journalist picking from where the minister left, wakauliza inakuwaje unatuambia kila kitu kiko sawa na waziri wa fedha anasema kuna shida? Akasema usimsikize,
nisikizeni mimi.
Nisikizeni mimi.
Lakini rais amekuwa akisema ya kwamba hizi shida zote ambazo tunapitia zimetoka na the previous regime. Na amesema kwamba tumpatie muda kwa sababu sasa hii ndio mwaka moja na nusu. Naona ni kama baada ya miaka 5 mambo itakuwa imebadilika,
itakuwa. Na akasema kuna madeni yalikuwa yamechukuliwa. Eurobond inafaa kulipwa by June 302 billion.
Let me help you. Amesema shida ni deni. Alisema hivyo. He has borrowed more than any other president. in the history of this republic. More than 2 trillion.
In
In 1 year.
half-
That was in 1 year. It was not even 1.5 years.
Yes, one year.
As we move towards another 1.5 years,
Itakuwa imezidi.
itakuwa crazy. He's borrowing daily. Did you see the news that the local borrowing break record? There is nobody who has ever borrowed local banks. And you know, the local banks, the reason why companies are closing down, let me just explain something in a short while. The reason why the companies are shutting down is because of many reasons. One of the reasons is what I've raised. Of course, taxation, the cost of power, and many others. And even the cost of production in terms of fuel. When you touch on fuel, it affects the entire sector of the economy. From the transport of raw materials from the farms, from trading, even moving production, because most companies still use diesel for their production. But I want to explain this. Another reason is because of high interest. You can't make a borrowing as an organization to expand your business or to fund the projects that you're doing as a company. And that's why it is closing down. And why are the interest rates going up? Because government is the biggest borrower. Most banks, their main responsibility, their main role or objective in business is to lend.
Wapate faida.
Kupeana pesa ndio wapate pesa. To make money out of lending. Akikupatia loan, ukilipa na interest, that's how they make money.
Yes.
When government are taking loans from the banks, they deny an opportunity to the private sector to access money.
Kwa hivyo serikali ya Kenya Kwanza inakopa pesa
imekopa
kwa hizi local
and
banks.
It was all over news. They have broken the record in terms of local borrowing. What I'm saying in short,
domestic borrowing.
What I'm saying in short, if William Ruto was to be genuine on what he's saying, that the problem of this country is debt, then mbona unakopa kushinda yule unasema alituweka vibaya?
Lakini anasema kuna madeni yako ni commercial loans ambazo zina attract interest rate ya juu zaidi, so lazima nikope kutoka kwako wewe Mheshimiwa Keter ndio niweze nikope kwako cheaply, nilipe hili deni, nipunguze ile mzigo nilikuwa nao, alafu nilipe polepole nikimaliza.
Let me tell you something. The reason why local borrowings has increased to that extent is that's another lie. It's unfortunate that we have a president who lies. When you borrow from commercial banks, it cannot be concessional loan. It has to be commercial. There is no bank which can give you concessional. Concessional loans are from World Bank.
Hizo ndio zina interest rate ya chini.
You can negotiate. Or African Bank.
African Development Bank.
Or many other institutions which can give concessional loans. But there is no commercial bank in this country which can give you a concessional loan. You know, concessional loans, you negotiate them for a longer period with a low interest. Which bank in Kenya will give you such? Which bank? Not even KCB, which is partly owned by government. All these banks are giving commercial loans. So that is a lie. Most of his borrowings are commercial loans. And another lie that has been repeated so many times, he repeated it in mail. That when he went to government, he found empty coffers. He was from where? From the moon. He was a deputy president of the Republic of Kenya, earning a salary, with an office, with attending cabinet meetings. He was part of that government. That's a lie.
Lakini alikuwa ametengwa, anasema alikuwa ametengwa.
Kutengwa ni lini? Hata kama ni kutengwa, haikuzidi miaka 2. He was a deputy president from 2013. All the loans were taken. Most, even the Eurobond was not after 2017. It was before 2017. And he was defending it. You know the problem? He forgets even whatever he says himself. He was defending it on national media, saying that we are borrowing, but we are disciplined in our borrowing. We know the projects we want to do. So why were you disciplined in borrowing then? Then now you claim that the problems of this country is the same loans. Let me give you a few examples in that regime when he was the deputy president. You remember Alfred Keter, Mimi?
Yes.
Raising the issues of the railway the cost of doing it.
Yeah.
Which to me,
the SGR project,
I saw it was expensive. SGR.
Ndio.
Even the NYS issues. When I was raising issues,
NYS 1,
that Rugut was sad because he refused to compromise in terms of the corruption which was to happen in NYS. And I started complaining before even corruption in National Youth Service. It happened after I complained about the sacking of Rugut, which he said that he has refused to compromise. And now it is so obvious that whoever is coming to replace him must be willing to compromise. Because the people who wanted to loot NYS were not comfortable with Rugut because he refused to be compromised.
Yeah.
And they were not going to make another mistake. They had to recruit someone who was willing to be compromised. And that's how we lost billions of money. The same reason why we have issues. Some of it were loans from China. I remember it was about 27 billion, which went to NYS. You know, there is nothing wrong with loans. But when you use it correctly, because even the US, many governments borrow loans, but you have to be morally right to use it respecting that. Hii ni deni. It's like wewe sasa kuomba loan, badala ya kujisaidia kimaisha, unaenda kwa bar.
Unaenda kwa bar. Au unaenda kuchoma nyama.
Unachoma nyama kule kwa bar na una entertain watu, unaita watu wote mkuje. Shika moja moja.
Na pesa ya loan.
Na loan. That's exactly what we're doing. Unless when you are not responsible in whatever you're doing with the loans.
Yes.
That is when the loans become a problem. The debt can never be a problem unless you don't use it in a good way.
Mheshimiwa Alfred Keter huyo studioni, nakwambia kumewaka moto hapa. Dakika bado 5 ifike mwendo wa saa 2. Kumbuka katika mchezo wa Dumu Loto unanunua ticket.